All right, good morning, class. As I told you the other day, we're going to be talking about ancient Greece and what happens with ancient Greece and its place. Actually, if you already have maybe studied it, you know that it's part of mythology. It has some really great part of history, and it also shaped the culture that we have today. But before that, I want to check out a little short clip to help you kind of bring you into modern day culture of Percy Jackson. Let's watch this video real quick.
I can do it right here.
Okay.
Man.
Grover.
Come on, let's go.
I know you have the lightning bolt. May I see it?
I don't have it.
Let me see your eyes. I hear them run as a flashing sea. Open them, or my hungry baby will have to open them for you. What such destroy your nasty face. Stay with me first. All you have to do is
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
son of Poseidon.
Heads up.
So has anybody read Percy Jackson and the Olympians? Yeah, it's a great book. What were some of the things you liked about it? Yes.
The Greek mythology and the characters.
Greek mythology and characters.
I never really knew what was going to happen next.
You never knew what. You're right. It's always an adventure. There's actually, if you haven't read it, there's 5 books in this series, and there's about 3 other books, kind of a add-on series that Rick Riordan wrote. This one's The Sea of Monsters. My son has them. He read them when he was probably, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, on up until not recently. I think he's still reading some. So that's a great series. Just kind of helps bring the culture of Greece and also modern day life of this guy Percy Jackson. So what we need to do now is we need to split up into some groups, and I'd like you to be in maybe groups of 3 or 4. Most of you guys are kind of in 3 or 4 already, so that's what we're going to do. If I can have somebody pass out our vocabulary for today, would you pass out on this half of the room, and then you'll pass on that half of the room, and we will get you guys going here. We're going to look at this picture of Greece. It's kind of looks like it's maybe sunset or maybe sunrise. What do you think? Do you think it's sunrise? Do you think it's a sunrise? Raise your hand. Yeah? Might be sunrise. Who thinks it's sunset? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it could be either both, couldn't it? All right, so on your paper, if you want to flip it over, you have, it says word bank there. And what we're going to do now is I want you in your groups, if you want to get with your groups, if one person maybe wants to write, but I just wanted to have everybody have a copy of this. I want you to write down 5 words that kind of talk about this picture. What do you see? I'll just point out a couple. I see rocks, rocky land. I see some mountains. So just take like 20 seconds, write 5 words that describe this picture of ancient Greece, or maybe modern Greece it is now. Now we're going to use these a little bit later when we do our little quick write with your group. All right, 5 more seconds, and then I'll have one person from each of the group. Give me one word that you're gonna have. All right, let's wrap it up. If you're still writing, that's fine. I can write up on the board here actually. Let's get our little pen here. Bring this down. Red, we don't want red. We want black. There we go. All right, how about this group of guys here? What's one word that you guys come up with? So, who would like to talk? Just one person. There you go.
I described it as dark.
Okay.
Darkish.
Okay, it's kind of dark, possibly. Yep, dark. Next group behind you. What else do you have?
I have clouds.
You got clouds. Yep, there's clouds there in there. How about you guys in front here? It's colorful? Yeah, I think it's colorful. The blue roofs. What do we have for possibly land masses? What do you have, girls? Yes. You got mountains? Yep, we have mountains. Back here. It's rocky. They got rocky cliffs, maybe. Ladies back in the back, what do you have?
Water.
They got water. Yep, there's lots of water in Greece. Yeah, so we got dark. It's kind of dark. It's clouds. That means the climate might be changing. There might be rain happening. We got colorful because we got the sky. We got the blue water. We got the cool houses, and the shapes and color of the roofs are all different. We got lots of water. We got mountains, as we can see. The coast just kind of comes up right out of the water there, and it's rocky. And we got cliffs. So we're going to use maybe some of those. Hopefully you wrote them down, because we always want to be thinking, always writing everything down. So we're going to use those a little bit later. So turn that back over to vocabulary, because we're going to use those as I'm talking here, and just talking about some different. Let's check out. We want to this over here. Go. So our vocabulary here. This is our vocabulary words. This is some words I'm going to use as I'm just talking about ancient Greece. We have peninsula, climate, mountains, island, democracy. So, as you know, ancient Greece is considered the birthplace of European civilization, dating back to over 5,000 years. Many of the ancient ruins date over 4,000 years ago, and some even show signs that life of 10,000 years ago. They helped create different people like Socrates or Plato. That helped to contribute to different things of science, of mathematics. They helped create poetry of the Iliad or the Odyssey, and these continue to create architecture and sculptures and paintings, poetry, playwrights. Also in 776, does anybody know what happened there in BC 776? Do you remember? It has to do with sports. They created yes.
First football.
No, not first football. The Olympic Games. The Olympic Games were started in Greece in a little, they just wanted to create a sporting competition that helped people to get out and be active and also compete against each other. And you know now that it is all over the world, and people compete every 4 years in the Summer Olympics. That's what it started. It started this summer. Then as modern culture came and they created it into the Winter Games and different things like that. So let's talk about mainland Greece. Is mainly mountainous. And what's the definition of mountains on there that you can, somebody read that for us? Go ahead.
A landmass with great height and steep sides that is higher than hill.
Yes, so it's a great, huge landmass, comes out of the ground, and they're usually upwards to 5,000 feet all the way up to 14,000. Anybody know the tallest mountain in the world? Yes, sir.
Like taller? So
Yeah, the
like
tallest
rise in
mountain.
the air.
What's that?
Like,
Tallest mountain in the world.
Oh, well, that's in Hawaii.
Is it Hawaii? Do you think so?
Yes.
What is
well,
it?
It's, I'm not sure the name of it. It's the tallest, but it's under the water.
Oh, that's true. But what is the one highest in
Mount
Earth?
Everest?
Mount Everest, yes, like 29,000 feet, something like that. So mountains. So mountains make up most of mainland Greece. It is surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea, and then also we know that there's 1,400 islands in Greece. Let's check out our map here. I'll show you that. You can see lots of different islands. So you can kind of see the topography, the mountains in here. You can see all of this surrounding the Mediterranean Sea, the Ionian Sea, the Aegean Sea, and all of these little green little dots are all the little islands. Somebody tell me the definition of an island. Tell me it or read it, that's fine. Go ahead and back.
An area of land smaller than a continent and surrounded by water on all sides.
Yeah, so it's not as big as a continent. What's a continent? Yes, sir?
A large piece of land, like
What's
that-
what's a continent?
like a huge body of land that's surrounded by water.
Yeah, so it's a continent like Australia wouldn't be completely an island because it's huge, it's large. So an island is like Crete here. There's an island, or there's little bitty ones. So it's not really huge, but it's not small either. So that's an island. All right, another thing we have in our Greece is a peninsula. Somebody point out a peninsula for me. Which one is a peninsula? Can you tell me which one it is? No, what's that?
Balkan Peninsula.
Balkan Peninsula. There you go. It's actually said right there. There's Balkan Peninsula. So there's a side where actually it's connected here, but on these three sides, it is it has water in it. This could also be a peninsula right here. So there's two peninsulas in Greece. So that's what another thing. So let's move on. And most of Greece has a mild climate. A little bit later, if you want to look back over here, it says quick right is your prompt over here. We've already talked about extremely mountainous. We've talked about surrounded by water. That's an island or a peninsula. So climate. What do you think the climate is like in Greece? Yes, sir.
Mild or sometimes even hottish.
Mild or hot? That's very good. Yes. It could be a little bit humid because why? Why do you think it's humid? No, no. What do you think?
Because it's surrounded by so much water.
It's surrounded by so much water, so it's a little bit mild. It could be hot. It could be humid at times. And in the summer times, it's probably a little bit hotter. In the winter, do you think there? So we have mountains. Do you think there's any snow? Do you think there's maybe snow? Maybe. There could be some snow, maybe up or in here, Mount Olympus, but mainly in the wintertime it's going to rain, just like some of the other countries that live are around this region. So it's going to rain mostly. So we've talked about extremely mountainous, the climate, and we're talking about warm, surrounded by water. So there's our 4 key points that we're going to talk about a little bit later. Some of the other things that you can talk about Greece. In 507 BC, one of your vocabulary words is democracy. And the Athenian leader Cleisthenes, that's a kind of a weird name, is it? Cleisthenes. I had to look it up and say it a few times. Introduced a system of political reforms that he called demokratia, or rule by the people. From demos, the people, and kratos, or power. So, rule by the people. That's democracy. What's it say is democracy? Somebody read that for me. Yeah, Ben.
A form of government in which power rests with the people, either directly or though elected.
What's that? Directly, yeah. Or through representatives. Yeah, so we are a country that's run by democracy. We have representatives that represent each state, and we are ruled, by the people, not just certain people, but we're ruled by majority of the people. So we have this democracy that's in the United States. It's similar, and so Cleisthenes broke it down into 3 different areas. He had institutions of ecclesia, a sovereign governing body that wrote laws and decided foreign policy. He had the Bola, council of representatives from the 10 Athenian tribes. And he had the Costariary, the popular courts in which citizens agreed cases before a group of jurors. Like we have jurors today, that people go into court, they have to sit in front of people and plead their case, and the jury makes the verdict. And so Cleisthenes was the father of democracy. So that's going to be one of our words that was going to be a part of the vocabulary for today. So a little bit later, I'm going to hand you out a short little one-sided page of definitions of your vocabulary, and you're just going to circle it, and then we'll turn that in at the end of the class. So right now, I want to transition into our map. And so as you can see our map, I want you to be able to talk about a map and be able to detail it out for yourself. So I've taken the time myself, and let's see if we can get this here, this map. So each of you guys are going to have a map here. I'm going to just pass those down the row. So everybody's going to have a map. You want to put your name on it. And then we'll give you some time to label it. It shouldn't take that long. We have any more copies? All right. Any more copies? You got any more? One more? There we go. Guys, do you have some more copies over there? I think you do. One more. All right, well, you guys can just share it right here. All right, so as you can see, some of the major cities that we have here. What are some major cities that you see here on this map? Athens. That's one of the major cities where a lot of the things that happen throughout Greece. That's where they have a lot of history there. Sparta, exactly. What's another one? Olympia. How do you know what a city is? What usually is put on a map to tell you what a city is?
A dot.
A dot. Possibly it could be a star, just depending on what is usually a star. Does anybody know? The capital. Very good. Excellent. I did not put the capital for Athens. I should have put a capital. So we have Olympia. We have Sparta. Because in Olympia, it was where the Olympics started, and that's where they did it, Olympia. And we have Delphi, another important city. And then we have, what are some other things that you see on here that are sticking out to you? Yes. There's mountains. We talked about extremely mountainous. So we have mountains down here in this region. I just kind of showed them for just little bitty, I don't know, upside down V's. And there's all mountains throughout this region. There's mountains up in here because that's where we're moving up to the Balkan Peninsula. And so there's the things that you need to put. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time just to work on your own map. And remember to put, we have bodies of water. What's some bodies of water that we have on here?
The Ionian Sea.
The which one?
The Ionian Sea.
Ionian Sea, yep. And then we have the Aegean Sea. And then if you look up a little bit, let's see here, we have the Mediterranean Sea is all the way completely around there. So remember to detail the map. You need to put island, you need to have peninsula on there, and then the little mountains. Like I put up here, I just pointed to mountains and had them up there. So I'm going to give you a finish that. Just put your pencils down when you are complete, and I will know that we are ready to move on with the rest of our lesson. If you need to sharpen that, that's good. Go ahead. And I'll just walk around and see how you guys are doing, and if you need any help, I'll be able to help you. Remember to write neatly. Use capital letters for cities and for the seas, because those are proper nouns. Well, one other thing that I put down here is you want to put a little compass down in the corner of your map. I see some people getting some really good detail in there, and love the star for the rose, compass rose. Got some mountains in there. Very good. I'll put your name on it. Turn that in. Want to get your credit? Who's about done? Just raise your hand. Alright, just everybody's about done. Should have all the major cities on there. The mountains, the seas and Mediterranean Sea. While you're finishing it up, I think everybody has what they need. We're going to flip back over here. We're going to watch another little video about how Greece, I talked about some culture things, but how ancient Greece impacted the culture. This is a cool little video. You just kind of, you can read it as we go. Check it out.
Diffusing powder.
Alright, we're ready to move on. So everybody get their maps all finished out? Alright, great. So we're going to move on to our quick writes. And I want you to write, you have those words, right? That you wrote down. So here's what I want you to do. Not everybody needs to write. Let's just have one person from each group kind of be the scribe. So maybe the person with the neatest handwriting that somebody else can read will be really great. And so I want you to take, we'll give you, let's see, I want everybody to have a chance to share their write too with the class. So let's take about, 8 minutes. We have until, 55 or is it noon? Can't remember. Mr. Connery? What time do we have till?
You have about 15 minutes.
15 minutes, okay. So let's just do for 5 minutes, quick write. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just you guys come together, talk about what you want to write about those 4 different areas. Extremely mountainous, climates, warm, surrounded by water. How can you incorporate the things that we talked about? You have those words and other things that you have seen from our video, from your vocabulary, but maybe put one of those in there. And I'll give you 5 minutes to write about that. And then we're going to have one person present from each group. Okay? So quick write, and that means that you're using capital letters. It's just really short sentences that talk about these areas. So pick one of them, and then you guys figure out what you're gonna do, and then you'll write about it, and then we'll present it here in about 5 or 8 minutes or so. Okay? You want to get with these girls over here? Help them? That'd be great. So you guys figure out what you're doing yet? Simon? Perfect. What do you guys been writing about? What's that? I want to figure that out real quick. I don't have much time. Gotta be focused. What do you guys do? Extremely monotonous? Alright, good job. What do you guys write about? Extremely monotonous. Perfect. Extremely monotonous. Okay, good.
Found another extra.
What's that? Oh, you got an extra one? Alright, cool. What are your girls right now? Climate? Alright, cool. Oh, thanks. You guys could do surrounded by water. Talk about islands. You're talking about what? Okay, perfect.
Oh, yeah, right down here.
Remember, every person needs to give some ideas to the writing. Maybe come up with one person writes one sentence or helps write one sentence. And you have 4 sentences, and that makes a paragraph, right? No, just one person's right. Yeah, just one person's right. You guys are all coming together and talking about what your give ideas to extreme mountains. What it could be about these groups. How you guys doing? I see some great teamwork happening. People are helping each other out. That's good. That's what we do as a team. All right, how's everybody doing? Might want to wrap it up here. Let's give you about another minute to finish out what you're writing about, so we can share at least 3 or 4 of the groups, maybe. We might have time for it. If we don't, we'll get to it next time. Ready? All right. Now we'll just. So when we present, we'll just have you stand up, and you will just present from where you're at. Just speak loudly so everybody can hear. All right, so we have some people ready to present. one goes first? Back? All right, go ahead.
We think in ancient Greece the climate is warm and humid because it is surrounded by bodies of water. The climate is a normal weather temperature throughout the year. It could have possibly changed as population grew, meaning more people.
Very good. Excellent work. Love those adjectives you use in there and complete sentences. Very nice. Next, who else would like to go? All right, go ahead.
Ancient Greece is a country that is extremely mountainous and beautiful. They attract tourists from the mountains. Mount Olympus is an extremely mountainous mountain in Greece. Greece is good for hiking.
All right. They talked about hiking. They talked about the mountains. They used one of our map details of Mount Olympia, or Mount Olympus. All right. Great job. Thank you. All right. You guys ready? All right.
In Greece, most of the time the climate is humid because
You
it's
got the whole lot.
in Greece it is most likely rain a lot because of the sea around.
All right. So they talked about the climate, and they talked about how humid it might be from the surrounding water, and most likely that it rained a lot because of the sea around Greece. Very good job. Yes.
Okay.
Stand up. There you go.
So the houses are usually made out of clay, also called adobes, and they are really colorful and usually near water or mountains. They are usually close to each other, and some are like big and some are small.
All right. Very good. Guess what you guys got?
Extreme mountains are in one spot and are called extremely mountainous. Extreme mountains are land masses with great height and steep sides that are higher than a hill. We choose extreme mountains because they are tall, made of rocks, and located all around the world.
All right. Very good. So they just talked about the mountains. Next time maybe we can include some things that talk about Greece, because we're talking about ancient Greece. That might be something you might be able to add to it next time. Yes.
Extreme mountains are found almost everywhere in ancient Greece and in modern Greece today. It means plenty of mountains and has very rocky terrain. The mountains in Greece are often warm instead of cool because of the climate. They are big and always surrounded by land. Mount Olympus was once one of the greatest big mountains.
Greatest big mountains. All right. So one thing that they used in there, they talked about the extreme mountains. They also pulled climate into their quick write. They talked about when mountains, it's a little bit cooler and not as hot. Very good. Excellent job. Who's next? Do we have everybody? You guys back up. We got everybody. All right, great. So here's what I want you to do. We're going to do this little bitty vocabulary quiz. So put up your notes and put up your vocabulary. There's 2 for you guys back there. We need another one. So after this, you'll just turn this in. 2, 3, 4. Let's see how you do on matching up your vocabulary. So let's find a seat if you haven't found another seat. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Perfect. I had 20. Did you get one? All right, take that little quiz real quick and we'll be done with class. We'll kind of wrap it up here, close up our lesson. Turn it over and you'll know that you're done. Who feels like they had 100%? Very good. Pretty sure most everybody could get these 5 vocabularies pretty right. All right, so let's wrap it up real quick here. We In our lesson, we covered our detailed map. We had some important cities. We're Athens, Delphi, Corinth, Sparta. We had Mount Olympus is one of our places that is important to Greece. We also know that ancient Greece, its culture shaped the way that we do things today, with democracy and arts and poetry. We also know that we have 4 key things in Greece. We have mountains, extreme mountains. We have lots of body of water. We have the climate that's sometimes mild, sometimes hot, but up in the mountains it can be cool. So those are the 4 different areas that we talked about today. You guys did a great job. Thank you so much for being here today, and we'll see you next time. All right?